wish upon a star, my children! Oh great, so Disney's so obsessed with obtaining every single franchise on the planet, now they've got Dracula? Actually, Mickey Mouse starring as Dracula would be pretty apt.
But let's see what they do with our classic tale of the great vampire. Mickey plays not the bloodsucker himself, but rather Jonathan Ratker. He travels to the land of Beetsylvania and the Carpathian Mountains.
So we get pun names for Harker and Transylvania, but not Carpathian Mountains? I mean, I'd improve it by calling it Corpsathian myself, but...
When thus Mickey is brought to Castle Dracula to aid the Count in his purchase of land at Carfax Abbey. Mickey is curious why the Count wants to move to England, and Dracula just thinks the climate is better. The fog is chillier, the people, well, they're a lot more hot-blooded. Dracula is most especially interested in the locket Mickey carries that shows a picture of Minnie, Menina.
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm just gonna call most of them by who they are. Easier for me, and frankly, it helps make this a little more unique than all the other times I've recounted Dracula for you.
The Count doesn't like mirrors, which is a bit of a problem since he's so vain about his hair and the wigs he wears. I think that's a job at Coppola's Dracula. Whatever. Point is, he forces Mickey to stay at the castle and write letters to Minnie, telling her to forget him. Dear Minnie is staying with her friend Clara Lucia Westerna, some cow lady.
Yeah, I'm sure this might come as a big surprise to you, my children, but I don't really watch a lot of traditional Disney stuff.
Clara, of course, has her 3 suitors, but let's not dwell on them. But the horror of Mickey as he remains trapped in Dracula's castle. He continues to write in his journal of Dracula's plans to go to England with his boxes of earth on the terrible creatures that inhabit the castle that prevent his escape. And oh, what do they feed on? Well, I'm sure we'll find out later. In the meantime, how strange it is that the ship carrying Dracula's boxes seems to have lost all its crew, save for a dog or a wolf that escapes into the mainland. Later, Clara's suitors talk of how strange it is that she has developed a craving for beets, and she's ravenous for the stuff. And strangely, Minnie seems to see her embracing a figure at night, one that transforms into a wolf, an ostrich, and finally a bat.
I'd make a joke about an ostrich being its most powerful form, but honestly, wild ostriches fight with lions. Don't screw with them.
With her beet obsession stronger than ever, there is only one they can call upon for help. Goofy Van Helsing. While he arrives and hits a sign while waving out the window of his train, Minnie departs, having received a letter from Jonathan seeking her aid. Goofy interviews Clara as he gives her some garlic flowers, and during this he notices the fangs that have formed in her teeth. Goofy also meets with Dracula's insane servant, Pete Pegfield, and his peculiar habit of collecting files.
No, you could have just cut the character. You didn't need to make him just some weird guy who collects files like they were trading cards.
Minnie, meanwhile, sees Jonathan as he recovers from his ordeal at the castle. Minnie has read his journals and learned of the horrible things he was subjected to. Dracula's brides having fed him a lot of baked goods. Mickey learns that Clara has been having that craving for beets, the same that Dracula's brides did.
The implication with all of this that people have beet juice for blood?
Unfortunately, when Minnie returns to Clara, she discards the closed windows and garlic flowers that were helping improve her condition, allowing Dracula to come and finish his task of murdering her, transforming her into a huge beet. So they plant her in the greenhouse and wait for roots.
Somehow this actually seems more horrifying than the original story.
Indeed, Goofy explains that Nosferatu, like Dracula, live underground as living beets, feeding on life force and turning other creatures into vegetables.
I'm gonna pretend this is the truth behind VeggieTales.
After realizing that Dracula is after Minnie, they begin the hunt for all the places Dracula has purchased residence, readying garlic to be buried in that earth. Minnie is brought to the local asylum for protection, but Dracula meets up with his servant within its walls and his collection of files, which he uses to burst through the various locks in his way to get to Minnie. She is infected, but with her psychic connection to Dracula as a result of that feeding, she knows that he moves to return to his home country on its native soil, since all of his boxes of earth are contaminated with garlic. As Minnie and Goofy split off from the rest, since the psychic connection works both ways, they encounter a cave that is just the rest they need on the way to Castle Dracula. It actually has a restaurant in it! Run by Dracula's wives! Minnie, realizing who they are, decides to deal with them while the rest reach Castle Dracula along with their undead enemy. He fights Mickey, rapidly transforming into a variety of forms until finally a ray of sunlight hits the Count, freezing him forever in between forms and ending his reign of terror. Well, for the most part, since now a half-ostrich, half-bat creature is now being hunted in the woods near Beetsylvania. Also, Clara apparently recovered from death by wearing earrings made of garlic, and no one but Goofy could stand the smell, so they hooked up.
Well, to be honest with you, my children, this one's kinda weird. But hey, when you get right down to it, all vampire lore is a little weird and silly. And regardless of anything else, Dracula still strikes terror even in the heart of Mickey Mouse.